Okay, so for fractions, the top number is called the numerator and the bottom number is called the denominator. So the numerator tells you how many are filled in, and the denominator tells you how many total pieces there are. So we have a box and it is divided into the denominator, which is 2 pieces. So I just made a box or a square and I divided it into 2 pieces. The numerator tells me how many I shade in. So this is 1/2. So to find out if something is bigger or smaller, you would have to make sure that you use the same size box. And if they asked you what is bigger, 1/2 or 3/4, you're going to draw 1/2 and then you're going to draw 3/4. So we know that the denominator tells us how many pieces it's divided into. So this one is going to have 2 pieces with 1 piece being filled in. This one is going to have 4 pieces and it's 1, 2, 3 pieces filled in. So then we can easily see which one is bigger. So 1/2 is less than 3/4. So that is one way to do it. Now, since they're going into fractions, I'm not sure when they're going to do this, but I'll just show you how to make an equivalent fraction. So basically we have 1/2 and 3/4. A really good way is to make the denominators be the same exact number, and then you can see very easily which one is bigger. So first step is to count up by 2's, which is this denominator, and count up by 4's until we get to a common number. We already have a common number, right? It's 4. So you're going to change this to a 4, and then this is a 4. But in math, we can't just change a 2 to a 4. So what would I have to multiply 2 by to get it to a 4? I'd have to multiply it by a 2. And then anything I do to the denominator, I do to the numerator. So if I multiply this by 2, I multiply this by 2. And then this becomes 2 times 1 equals 2. Then my next one is, my 4 is already a 4, so what would I multiply it by? I would just multiply it by 1, and then anything I do to the denominator, I do to the numerator. 3 times 1 is 3. And now I can compare these two very easily. Which one's bigger, 2/4 or 3/4? And then you can see that it's 3/4 is bigger. So let's look at these other ones that we had. Is 1/6 or 2/6 bigger? Well, since it's already the same denominator, then we would say, oh, that's pretty easy. If I had a circle and it was divided into 6's, would 1 piece be bigger or 2 pieces be bigger? Obviously 2 pieces would be bigger. And then for this one, we had 2/2 and 2/3. So if we used the first technique, we would just draw it out. But if we used the second technique, we would rewrite this denominator right here, and we would rewrite this denominator right here, and we would count up until we got to a common number. So if I count up by 2's and I count up by 3's, I get a common number of 6. So I change this into a 6 and I change this into a 6. And in math, I can't just change a 2 to a 6. So what would I multiply 2 by to get it to a 6? I would multiply it by 3. And then anything I do to the bottom, I do to the top. So then I multiply this by 3. And it becomes 2 times 3 is 6. And then in math, I can't just change this 3 to a 6. So what would I have to do? I would multiply it by 2. And anything I do to the bottom, I do to the top. And then we could see very easily which is the bigger number, 6/6 or 4/6. This is the bigger number. And then for our last one that we had, 1/2 we just did 1/4 and 2/8. So if I had 1/4 and I had 2/8, I would rewrite my denominators down here and I would count up until I got to a common number, which is 8. I change this to an 8. This is already an 8. In math, I can't just change a 4 to an 8. I have to multiply it by 2. And anything I do to the bottom, I do to the top. 2 times 1 is 2. And then this one is just times 1 and times 1. And then we could see 2/8 is the same as 2/8. So this one is 2/8 is the same as 1/4. So it'd be 1/4 equals 2/8.